Welcome to the Winner Circle. Well, my name is Marilyn Pettigrew. I am the founder of this program. This is a personal coaching and training for those that have probably found themselves stuck on the side of the road or possibly for too long. If you're anything like myself, life has really taken us through some major hits in life. We've gone through things in our country. We've dealt with a lot of economic hardship. We've dealt with things different tragedies going on called death within the families. We've had to deal with a lot of maybe losses of things. Many of you have gone through possible bankruptcy, children going through different challenges in your life. And I tell you, it has been a journey to make it through a lot of those things. The Winter Circle is a program that has been developed from my heart that came from some places of hardship that were with me, that at one point in life I thought that I was possibly at the end of my road, not realizing that I was really right at the beginning of it. It was only until I came to the end of myself that I realized that I was just now getting ready to live life. Well, my personal coaching and training is a program that has been designed with living a life of freedom, understanding that it will cost you to be free. It's free from mindsets, a lot of the different challenges that may have come up in your life. And some of the things may be some traditional thinking in life. This is a program that comes in and helps you to get through some of the hardest places in life. It's a place where we have to discipline ourselves. We have to discipline ourselves every day to come to a point of realizing that it's hard. Sometimes it's hard, but you got to get in there and do it hard. It's a place where you have to come to a place of understanding that if anything is going to change, I have to take part in this change. I have to identify where those changes are. I've got to stop sabotaging my own success. I've got to recognize some of the things that have been taking place for a long time around me. I call them generational things. Some people call them just generational curses. I believe they are a part of the generational promise in life. And I really guarantee you that if you would just put your foot forward, that you would just trust and believe that you too can live a life that's full of freedom. It's a place where it comes in your thinking. Your thinking has to be revolved, it has to be ignited, it has to come to a place of understanding that I've got to try. Have you ever found yourself possibly going through night seasons for long periods of time? Yeah, night seasons. It's those nights where you're waking up early in the morning, 3 and 4 o'clock, possibly just went to bed, but you're getting a nudge in the middle of the night, not knowing why in the world I just laid down. And then you're thinking, oh, another night? No, it's not anything wrong with you. It's just possibilities are waking up in you. Do you know that you are accountable for every setting that you are in, every person that comes in your life, every situation that comes across your path? Whether you were awake and present in the situation or not, there were seeds that were being planted inside of you, and they were planted inside of you for a reason. One, to help you ignite a promise that's going on the inside. It made you kind of ponder for a little bit. Have you ever been sitting in the middle of a staff meeting or sitting in the middle of maybe a training session and a light went off and you started jotting down some notes there, only to put those notes somewhere you don't even know where they are right about now? Do you know that when you put those things down in your heart, they stayed there? And in the middle of the night, what's happening? It's turning around and it's trying to get to a place and trying to find some living water that's there. There's a passage of scripture in the book of Job where Job said, just at the smell of water, life began to start coming back again. And I believe that when you were sitting in those settings, it was people that were speaking things into your life, that were situations and opportunities that came before you. And sometimes it may have even been uncomfortable things that you were dealing with. They were all called seeds. Sometimes we don't know how to process the seeds that have come in. We don't understand the night seasons of waking up in the middle of the night, what that was all about. I like to come in and help jumpstart you, to help you get to a place of understanding why you keep seeing some of the same things over and over again. Why is it that life seems to be standing still all around you? What is it that I have purpose for? What have I been called to do in life? I would like to come in and help jumpstart your life to get you on the road to recovery. My program is a 90-day process to where I come in and just help you go through some of the first challenges of life. And one of the biggest things is just getting started. I believe that's one of the biggest struggles that we have in life is getting started in life. So I come in with a 14-day challenge with you, first of all, just to get your mindset right. We start off on those first 5 days by calling what I call jump starting you. I jump start you with the process of thinking. I believe that any success that takes place in life is you got to get your thinking in the right place. So what I do is we come in and we talk about, some of those things that we have to deal with that will come to uh, change our lives or get us on that road to success. And there are 5 things that I always look at with starting off in life. And one of those things is become spiritually grounded. I think out of everything that I do, I believe that I must be spiritually grounded. I must be spiritually grounded in my thoughts. Even in, my intellect, there are some things that I have been trained. There are some things that I have learned. There's some things that I paid for when I went to school, only to realize that it was just a portion of life. There are some experiences that I've had in life. Oh, they were so real to me. But in the end, they were just part of the experience, and they were dropping off just a little water on those seeds that have been planted inside of me. When I become spiritually grounded, when times get rough and times get a little uncertain, I always have something that I can lean back on in life. The second thing is you got to be clear about where you're going. Have you ever stopped to think? Sometimes we get lost in life. It may be because you really didn't know where you were going. You may not have known what it was that you really wanted to do. Many times, if you were anything like me, I found myself falling in the shadow of my family, being the baby of the family. Many times, everybody wanted to tell you what to do, they wanted to tell you how to do it. And as much as I respect everyone that's within my family, I had to realize that there were some things that God has called me uniquely to do. Because even though I would follow the leading of what they said, it kind of reminded me of David when Saul was trying to put his armor on him. David said that it hasn't been, what do you call it? It hasn't been identified with me. It hasn't been at a place where proven. There are some things that I've had to use in life that it works for me. It's a part of my personality. It's a part of me staying in that unique place that God has created me to be in. And when I stay in a place of uniqueness, I can always find a place to steal away and not have to feel like I've got to be in the crowd with everyone else. It's a place of freedom. It's a place that water flows. It's a place that creativity is there. But one of the strongest things that you'll have to deal with, you got to deal with the opinions of others and how others are going to think about you. Oh, that was a hard place for me to be in, worrying about what other people were going to think about the differences that I had in life. I had to get a vision before myself. If you notice behind me, my daughter has a vision board here, and I just love it. It's a thing to where she's got everything that she's trying to do in life, and realizing, if you notice, that board has a lot on there. But you know what? You're able to do it. You just got to take it one bite at a time. Sometimes some of the things that's going to be on your vision board has not been a part of anything that you've seen anybody in your family do, and you've got to dare to do things differently. I'll say 23 years ago, I stepped out away from my family in a place that was very uncertain. It was a place that I wanted to discover who I was. I wanted to hear my own sound, even if my sound didn't sound right about then. Didn't quite know how to articulate, didn't know really how to express myself because everybody always talked for me. But I set out on a journey to get around people that would help cultivate my life. They became what I call the ultimate connections. Those were the people that came in to add something to the piece to the puzzle in life. So I throw nothing away. I believe that everything and everyone that has come in my life has come in for a reason. So they have come in to help me to see my way clear. Where is it that you want to go? What is it that you want to do? So I have to know what it is that I'm doing. So I must get around the right things. I call them getting around the people, places, and things of where you want to go. And it does take some challenges to step out in those areas because it's sometimes uncharted waters within the family. There are going to be some family members that will support you. There will be some that will understand. And then there are some that they're just afraid. They're just afraid that if you get yourself out there too far in water, that people are going to eat you up. Life is going to eat you up. But that's a part of life. You've got to be able to take some challenges. I don't say this just to go out into risky things, but things that have been proven, things that have been tried on you. Think about what David did. When it came out to fighting Goliath, he already has had a resume of fighting a lion and a bear. And where other people were afraid to go in, the other army men were afraid to go in, this was something that had been proven and tried on him. And he did it in a place where fear was at. And sometimes fear will cause you to step out and do things that you really did not know that you could do. It's a part of being courageous about life, stepping out and really understanding that this thing is inside of me that I believe I can win. As a little girl, we grew up watching, the Saturday morning cartoons. And there was one on there. One was conjunction, junction, what's your function? Working on trains. And every time I saw the connecting pieces to it and, the different things in life, I just kept going back to that. And then there were other ones that I would always watch. I would watch the Jackson Fives when they did ABC. What is easy as one, two, three. And then there was one that stood in my mind for a long time. It was about the little train that was trying to get up this hill. He said, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. And then oftentimes he would have to go, I think I will, I think I will, I think I will. That has been a part of my everyday conversation when I get scared. I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. I believe I will, I believe I will, I believe I will. And every time that I set that positive will in motion, there's nothing that I've been able to step out on that has not come in to God's favor. All of it began to start working for good. Oftentimes, I think about getting in the right place, and sometimes you have to put your foot on the in the right places in order for the doors to open up in your life. So many times we're going against the grain because we're going trying to go into familiar places. You're going into familiar places. Yes, the doors may open up for a little while, but you have to remember these were places that may not have been designed for you. It takes a real heart of God, a servant's heart, to really challenge and go into places that you've never seen before, except in the night season. In the night season is where I got my dreams. In the night season is where I received my instructions. In the night season is where I got my courage, because these are the places where I kept telling God, Lord, I don't know if I could do that, but somewhere along the way, God would always send help along the way. The third thing is know what you are able to do and where do you get help when you don't know what to do. Know what you're able to do, count it up, know what parts you can do. I don't believe in being lazy or trying to get things from other people that I can do for myself. That's a handicap. But know where you need the help at. And look for people that are willing to give that help freely to you without trying to intimidate you or put you down or make you feel like you don't know what you're doing. I believe that God has brought the right people into each one of our lives for a reason. So on that journey, we start off with just getting your mindset right, just preparing for the journey that's ahead. You got to get prepared. You got to count the costs up. Find out what it is that you have as assets and liabilities. What is it that you have put in your arsenal that you really don't need? Unforgiveness, malice, strife. I can't. All of those negative words that you've spoken to yourself, we've got to get prepared for the journey and take an inventory of the thoughts. The next thing is you got to clear the clutter. You got to get that clutter out of your mind. All those people that's talking in your head, some of that stuff doesn't even belong to you. It's going to be time to unpack your bags and give those things back to the people that it belongs to. When you begin to start doing that, you're going to realize your life is going to be so much more the better. It's going to be a life filled with purpose. I've got to clear the clutter from my mind. First of all, I start by organizing a lot of those things, getting those things into their proper categories and field. How do you go about eating an elephant? One bite at a time. How do I go about clearing this clutter? One item at a time. I've got to be able to put them in chunks, in little packages, what I can handle, what I can't. And also think about your mindset. Sometimes you've just been through too much in life and you've just got to take things slowly. Don't let anybody ridicule you about the time frame that it takes you to do something. It's all about your well being, getting to a place of where you need to be. Next, we go into steps of greatness. After you have really, really determined in your heart that I can do it, you got to walk it out. You got to take the necessary steps. You got to go against the grain. And this calls for sometimes getting yourself to yourself. You got to get away from everything that you were familiar with. And we got to look at the possibilities of what is possible. The next thing in the midst of that, we got to go overcome some failures, because down that road, you're going to realize that you failed on a lot of things in life. But we're not going to focus on the failures. We're going to overcome the failures. We're going to use every one of those failing places, those things that we really thought that was going to be used for nothing. We're going to make some lemonade out of some of those lemons. And I'm telling you, God has a master plan with it all. And the next thing, we're going to look at the boundaries that are around you. You must put up some boundaries in you. You know, I'm talking about where there must be win-win situations. You cannot keep casting yourself to things that are not profitable to you, things that are not bringing about a good resolve in life. And these are times where we have to begin to start thinking about, all right, those are the first week or so. I'm in this. I can do this. I'm going to start getting up. I'm going to stop procrastinating. I'm not going to talk about what I'm going to do anymore. I'm going to put some feet to this. See, it's only until I really put feet to things that things begin to start changing in my life. It doesn't matter how long I talk about it. It doesn't matter how long I contemplate on it or share it with other people, because that's normally what we want to do. We want to go share our vision with other people. It doesn't matter sharing the vision. It matters that you step out on it. It's a place to where that everything's become solidified. You know what? I got my foot out there in the water, and I didn't drown. Nor did it take me over. So I'm going to get out there and I'm going to overcome this. And then we're going to go into learning how to live a life of freedom. I want to free you up from some things. I want to free you up from old mindsets, old behaviors, your character. We got to deal with that character, because some of your character is not lining up with where you want to go. There are many things called pride that we've got to deal with. We got to go back and look at how we're looking at our families, what you were born into. You know, I don't think God made any mistakes with you in life. Everybody that He's got you around, He brought you around those people for a reason. We got to learn how to work it out. We got to learn how to make good use of it. You've been single for a long time, been waiting on that right person to come in. Let me tell you, it all starts with you. When you become attractive to you, other people will become attracted to you as well. They don't want to become attracted to anything that's, not valuable to you. So it's going to be the way that you look at it. Once you get through these 90 days, I guarantee your life will never, ever be the same, because for the first time, you learn how to turn the TV off and stop listening to somebody else's noise and listen to the sound that's going on inside of you. So why don't you come in and think about joining me for these next 90 days? I'll be starting a new process July the 1st of branding the authentic you. It's a place where we live life without limits. We live a life of freedom. Doesn't matter where you've grown up, doesn't matter who you were reared up around. It's possible to any of us. It's just a matter of whether you believe that you can do it or not. Don't worry about what everybody else has said about it. Everybody else has their own opinions about life, but it does not have to be the sum total of who you are. This is a place where we explore great things, and before you know it, you're going to be living a life that you've never, ever thought you could live, except those things that you saw in your heart. It's a great place to be. I'm going to repeat what I heard one of the pastors say to me one time. He said, Marilyn, he said, it's sweet on the other side. And when I heard it for the first time, it registered in my heart, but it took a minute to really get down inside. He said, honey, it's sweet on the other side. And what it was he was talking about a life of freedom and a life of possibilities. And so it's a place where we have to begin to start thinking about what it is that we want to do, how we want to go about doing it, and then putting some things into action, understanding that it will come back in time. So I invite you guys to come on in and join me for this great time of 90 days of living a life of freedom and understanding the possibilities of what can happen. And yeah, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, but you got to do it hard. You got to understand, it's not anybody else that's sabotaging you. It's you. You have to take responsibility for your own life. No longer blaming anybody else. Oh, my baby daddy wasn't there. Oh, my mom and dad wasn't there. There are no more excuses, especially as an adult, because you get an opportunity to do it again. All the way I was raised up, you have an opportunity to do it yourself. I guarantee you, if God could do it with me, He can do it for you too. And I tell you, I am living the best life that I have ever lived. It doesn't matter where things come or whether things go. I'm still going to believe that God has the best in store for my life. So, you guys, come on in, join me during this great journey of rebuilding your life. I guarantee you'll never be the same again. I am a very relational coach. I deal with real live things. I share with you different testimonies of my own life, my children, different situations that I've gone through. I never try to put another person's name out there in a negative way. I just use the situations and the circumstances as stories. See, because it's not the end of the story. God has changed every one of them around, but they are a part of the journey of my life. And I guarantee you, your story too will become a book that other people would love to read. Let your story be read like a novel that they can't hardly put the book down because they're being encouraged every day. They cry with you, they laugh with you, they rejoice with you, but they can't put that book down because your book and your story is so original. Why don't you join me at www.mdwinnercircle.com and come on in for this great journey of a new you, because we're learning how to live a life of freedom, and we're going to live life to the best of our ability. I look forward to you guys joining in July 1st. We're going to have a great time. We're going to have a great time of fellowship. I'll be posting up a new message for you guys on coming in to sign up and join in. I'd like to see all of you joining in together at the same time. It's a family affair in my life, because we all have some things that we're going through. We'll come into a community of people. We'll build a Facebook page to where you have a community of people that are around you. You guys come in to encourage each other. It's a place to where we find unity. It's a place where we find love. It's a place that we find communion and fellowship with one another. And you'll understand that it was good for you that you were afflicted, because it brought you into a new place of oneness with some people that had like minds. Remember, we are the Winner Circle, and we're always branding the authentic you. See you guys a little later. You guys be blessed.